Today I'm going to show you my top 5 favorite hacks in Photoshop. What's up guys, I am Miles at Miles of Color everywhere online. I'm so excited to be here with you guys today for another video. If you're new here, I'm a digital artist slash photo compositor geared more towards like portrait photography, but I'm definitely a heavy editor. But if you're a landscape photographer, if you're a lifestyle photographer, if you're just kind of into more simple and pretty portraits or whatever you're into, I'm sure all these tips, all these hacks are gonna be super useful for you, especially the last few, because it's going to be about exporting your images for optimal Instagram quality. Before we get started here, I'd like to thank our sponsor Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Super psyched to tell you guys more about them in just a few seconds. Let me just move the screen up. Skillshare is an online learning community for creators with more than 25,000 classes in design, business, and more. Premium membership gives you unlimited access, so you can join the classes and communities that are just right for you. Whether you want to fuel your curiosity, creativity, or even career, Skillshare is the perfect place to keep you learning and thriving. Here are some of my favorite classes that I took on Skillshare.com. Join more than 7 million creators learning with Skillshare. The first 500 of my subscribers to use the link in the description will get a 2-month free trial. Okay guys, so I have this amazing photo of Ali Rubo here. No surprise, she's the model I almost always use because girlfriend. And I already have this edit that we have in here, but we're not even going to talk about this because these are not the hacks that I'm going to talk about. The first hack I'm going to talk about is the dodge and burn tool. So the dodge and burn tool is really useful to basically enhance your image any way that you'd like, but it's really specific when it comes to like retouching a photo. So what we're going to do is going to go to layer, new layer, and we're going to go down to mode over here and say, let's blend it at vivid light, and then name the layer, let's call this one dodge. And we're going to click this little box here that says fill with a vivid light neutral color, 50% gray, quite a mouthful, and click OK. Okay, so this will be my dodging layer. Now we're going to click Command J or Control J on Windows, and we're going to name this one burn. Go over here and select the dodge tool, dodge or burn tool, or click O on your keyboard. That is the hotkey for this guy. And your settings should be, if you click on the brush up here, it should be 0%. We should have our range on highlights, our exposure on 5%, and perfect tones should be, or protect tones should be clicked right here, perfect tones. That'd be awesome if you had a perfect tones button, right? Every time, perfect tones. They're great, perfect tones. And then click this pressurize key right here. And since I'm dodging, let's make sure we're clicked on the dodge layer right here. And I'm going to just zoom in and you're going to see, I'm gonna mess around and do a little bit of dodging in Alexandra's eyes here. And you're just gonna see the effect. And if you'd like to find out, what to dodge and when to dodge it, I have a great tutorial and you can click the screen up to the right here. I'm going to drop a card and that is my retouching tutorial, all for free on YouTube. Okay, so I'm not gonna go all out, but you get the general idea of the dodge here. Let's go to our burn, and the burn should be the exact same settings. At least that's the way I like to do it for my burning tool. And when I'm burning, I just like to, go in and reinforce our eyebrows, maybe the eyeliner a little bit, nose, and I really just kind of like sculpt the face when I do the burn tool. I'll show you guys before and after of the dodge and burn that I did for this image originally. Boom, there it is, before and after. Super powerful. I like to use this type of dodge and burn method because I think it's like a little less destructive than actually dodging and burning on a flattened layer, because your only undo there is, what, Command Z and undoing it literally. But Yeah, so I like to have more control over my dodging and burning. Okay, next is using the brush tool to enhance your subject. So we're going to go down here and go create a new layer. And then you're going to find the brush tool on your tool panel here, or click B on your keyboard. That's the hotkey for brush. And your settings should be 0% hardness over here, opacity 100, flow 1%, and then add some pressure. You can even do your airbrush style if you'd like to as well. But just for the sake of showing you guys what this would do, so I'm going to just go down here to my background and foreground color. I'm going to click it, and my background's going to be black, and my foreground's going to be white. Super easy, right? That's kind of the stock Photoshop, what you would have in here. I'm going to increase the bracket size and just add some sunlight by adding some white here. You just click and do some circles with your mouse, or your pen, or whatever you have, whatever you're editing with. Cool, so there is some light already added in here. Let's do before and after. Boom, boom, right? You can already see that light coming in here. You can go into your blending modes and maybe blend it on screen or something like that. Just whatever you want. You can definitely use like the color yellow if you want to add some yellow sun coming in here. It's really up to you. And then for our black color, let's make another layer. Press X to switch your color to black, and let's add our own controlled vignette to the bottom here just by adding a little bit of color down here at the bottom of your image. Cool, and there is your cool little vignette that you did just by adding a brush to it. Next is something super fun. It is making selections with the pen tool. So if you just press P on your keyboard, that is the hotkey. What if we want to make a selection of, I don't know, maybe Ali's face right here, and we wanted to do something like, or maybe her body, and add some exposure to it, right? So let's zoom in just a little bit here, and I do that by pressing Z and then clicking and dragging. And we zoom in. Now click P once again. And the pen tool, so to make a selection, you have to start a point and then end at that point to make a full selection. So it can get kind of tricky, but let's just make a rough one real quick here. So I'm going to click, and then you can drag just a little bit here to make your selection just perfect and make your pen tool add this little curve. If you want to adjust this curve, you can hold down Alt. Oops. You can hold down Alt and click this down just a little bit. Click this bad boy and change the direction. And that's going to change the direction of your pen tool to go in the direction that you absolutely want when it comes to making your selection. So that's one method. Another method is you could literally just make as many little tiny pin selections as you'd like. If you know you don't trust yourself, if you feel like it's going to be too complicated to use the click and drag method, but it's really up to you. I'm still working on my click and drag method because I'm pretty new to using the pen tool for selections, but I wanted to tell you guys about it because I really think making your own selection can be more trusty than relying on Photoshop to do all of the work for you, because Photoshop's a computer. Cool, we ended at our point here. I'm going to right click, make selection. Okay, selection is made. And then we can click here and make a layer mask. And like I said, I want to make, you know, maybe Ali a little brighter here. So let's go to adjustments. We'll go to curves over here, make a new curves layer. We'll bring up the curves just a little bit here, right? So that's what happened so far. Then let's click and drag that layer mask. And boom, only Ali's being affected. It's a little weird right now, not gonna lie. Maybe we'll bring it down just a bit here. But see, now Ali is a bit more properly exposed versus before. Okay, next is a super fun hack that I learned from my friend Abel at Abel Insane. He's great. If you ever want to learn Photoshop one-on-one, he's the guy to go to. And this is going to flatten all of your layers without actually flattening them. So you don't lose anything here by doing this. And you're going to click Command Alt Shift E. and make sure you have your top layer in your project highlighted because it's going to create that layer on top of everything you did here. And voila, now you have this top layer up here, and that's going to lead us into our next point, which is using the camera raw filter. So you can go up to filter, convert for smart filter. And I like to do this because I like to go back in and make a lot of adjustments using the smart filter option here in Photoshop, because it lets you readjust all of the filters that you apply to a specific layer versus just using a regular layer and applying a filter, and then you better be right because that's your only option. Cool, so now you can go back to filter and let's go to camera raw filter. Awesome, now that we're in here, we can mess around. We can add some exposure here. We can maybe add a cool, gradient down below on the image like this. If we wanted to add some brushes, we could. So it's basically like using, Lightroom or something in here, which is, really, really cool. I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. Yeah, so we could, do some more burning or something like that, like we wanted to. We could even go over here and use my favorite tool in Lightroom and Camera Raw, which is the camera calibration settings, and really get funky with our colors here if we wanted to. Cool, now that I've messed around and got the colors that I want here, let's talk about my export settings and what I like to do with my photos in Photoshop to get them ready to go into Instagram. So we usually get photos that we're really proud of, really crispy photos out of Photoshop or Lightroom or our editing software. However, once we upload them to Instagram, we're super unhappy with them because the quality goes away. So what I like to do is basically overcompensate for sharpening, and I'm gonna show you how. And once we overcompensate for that sharpening, then some sharpening goes away once we post to Instagram, but you can't really tell. So click Command J. We're going to create, a duplicate of this top layer here. We're going to go to Filter, Other, and High Pass. You might be familiar with, methods like frequency separation, so you might know what high pass is here, but essentially it's adding this extra sharpening around your entire image. So I'm gonna have radius at like 1.2. You could do it from like 1 to 2 pixels here, but I wouldn't go too crazy. Click OK. We can't see it yet, that's totally okay. Let's do one more thing real fast in the filter. Noise, add noise. And I have my noise around 2% here. You can go like 2 to whatever percent you want, but I would keep it pretty low because it's not about having noise so much as it is about adding detail. And then click Gaussian down here and monochromatic. Okay. Blend on vivid light. I'm gonna zoom in here because you probably don't really see the difference yet, but if we zoom in and I click the little eyeball right here, check out this difference in sharpening. To me, it's pretty crazy, right? So once we have that difference in sharpening, I'm going to go up here to Save As, click where I want this bad boy saved, which is Top 5 Hacks in Photoshop, Photo for Video, and format, it's just gonna be JPEG, save, and that's all I do. I just save in like 8 to 10 here, quality-wise, and that's it. That's all that I do for this. And you'll see other photographers, amazing photographers do this. Many others who are very detail-oriented will add some high-pass filter or some noise or just extra sharpening on top of the photo to make it look prime and crispy for your upload on Instagram. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm so stoked to be bringing you my favorite hacks in Photoshop. Let me know if they were helpful. Let me know if you have any hacks that you'd like everyone to know about down below in the comments. And please don't forget to check out Skillshare and get your free trial set up with them. The link is in my description. I like bringing you guys these little hack videos, teaching you some things that I know because it makes me really happy to bring you some information and hopefully teach you something new. So yeah, thank you so much for being here. Follow me on Instagram at Miles of Color, and I'll see you next Thursday. Bye.